and welcome to the P.G.M Show. I'm your host, Peter Goodmckinnon, and welcome to the P.G.M Show. I've probably said that twice now in one sentence. Anyway, it's good to see you. It's good to be back. And I just want to say to the chat, yes, you're going to be there in the chat, I'm not ignoring you, but if I have a guest on, I won't be necessarily putting your comments up on screen. But again, I won't be ignoring you. So be sure when the time is right, I will throw it over to the chat, live chat, for questions. Okay. How are you, everybody out there in YouTube land? I hope everybody is okay and getting on with that, really. And my guest comes from. You may know my guest. Actually, you probably will know my guest. If you don't know my guest, well, then that's on you. But he is from. Could say the trio of ZS. He's does all these gaming reviews, Sega and Atari, and so I think that's probably you can probably guess. But anyway, I'll see you soon with my special guest, and let's go. My special guest is, please welcome Mr. Tiz. Hello, Tiz. What is that? Welcome, Tiz.
I've got a drinking problem. That was a nice intro, Peter. Thank you.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
You did miss out a major part of my channel. Yes, it's Star Wars and Transformers and the odd Spectrum game and the odd Sega game, but you missed out Spectrum.
Right.
Spectrum games. Spectrum games. There's only 500 videos on my channel. It's all right. Nobody watches.
I pop in it now and again on your streams, not too often, but now and again. Okay. Hello, welcome, Tiz. How are you? How are you, my friend? How are you over there?
I'm okay for a. Well, you're Monday morning now. Are you over there?
Yes, I am Monday early in the morning.
Early morning, yeah. So it's 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time in the UK here. Yeah. So yes, I'm in the past.
It's what is it? It's probably about 8 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shock horror. Yes, shock horror. We're in the future.
Have you got the Monday blues? The Monday blues. Yes. Yeah. So I'm here to help that.
If I wipe a tear from my eye, it's not because I'm really upset. Tell
me why I don't like Mondays.
Boomtown Rats, isn't it?
Yeah, Boomtown Rats, man. Yeah.
See, I know my music. I know my music.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Tiz. Let's go back. What was your collecting life back in your childhood?
Well, it was before Star Wars. I remember being obsessed with the Mr. Men books. Do you remember those? The Mr. Men.
Mr.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Happy. I had me and my sister used to collect those. Well, it's my sister really, but like I sort of carried that on. But then Star Wars came out, and how was I? I saw it in Star Wars. Well, it came out in '77, didn't it, in the States? But I remember seeing it in February. It was after Christmas in '78, and I was still 3. And it was one of my first sort of major memories going to the cinema to see Star Wars, as it was then.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Apparently, I remember also in that same year going to see Lord of the Rings, the animated movie. Remember that one?
No, not that well, actually. Not that well.
You should, for being Lord of the Rings, you should watch that one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
The animated. Yeah, it was Lord of the Rings. And then what happened? Well, yeah, you couldn't get. Well, we weren't aware of the. Not as kids, we weren't aware of not being able to get Star Wars figures. I just picked them up when they arrived. R2D2 was my first figure, I think, and then it went on from there. And I think I collected. I think I stopped sort of. I lost interest for a few months after before Jedi came on again. I remember my mum putting all my figures in the attic when I was a kid. You've not blah 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 blah. Put them away. So okay, and then Jedi came out, and I was like, whoa, let's go in the attic and get them all down again. So yeah, that took me up to about. I was still collecting in '85. Still, I was one of those lucky buggers to pick up 11 of the last 17 Star Wars figures for like under 10 quid in a bargain bin in Woolworths. So I think that was late '85, where they were just Kenner was just getting, crashing all the prices. And then in the '90s, I started going back and collecting ones I need. And then 2000s sort of finished my last 17 collection. And of course, where is he? My favorite figure. I don't know why. Why is my favorite? It was just one when I was a kid, because I like the Cantina. I had Walrus Man, Greedo, and Hammerhead. Yeah. And it was. I remember my sister. I had this in my hands to buy it, and she said, "No, you don't get that. You haven't got a Chewbacca. Get yourself a Chewbacca." So I got myself a Chewbacca. And then for years afterwards, I couldn't find him on card in the shop as a kid at all. And it wasn't until I think sort of mid 90s, 92, 93. I went to an antique fair, and there was a guy there I knew, and he was like, "Oh, you're the guy who wants the red snaggletooth. I've just sold one." I was like, "Oh man." I ended up buying something else instead, and then went to the car park, and in the gravel he was there, lying there. So he was just, I could never find him. It was just a figure I could never find on card, and he was there lying in the gravel. He still had the price tag around his neck. So that's the story of why I'm obsessed with Snaggletooth. And then of course I'm a big Transformers fan.
Yeah.
Generation 1, and I kind of missed out on He-Man, G.I. Joe and Action Force. Kind of missed out on all that, and then of course I like my retro games, Spectrum, Sega, anything like that really. So yeah.
So I missed out on Action Force. We didn't really have it here in New Zealand, really.
I guess you didn't. No, I mean, if I wanted to play Action Force, I'd go round to my friend's house because they had all the stuff, and it was just like, yeah, cool, yeah. So
I was more interested in Star Wars. I didn't really grow up going to. I was back in 71, so I didn't really go and see Star Wars in the theater. I went to see Return of the Jedi. I think was my first one, but I liked Empire Strikes Back more. because I think it had a little bit more of a. Sorry to say this, in Return of the Jedi fans, I think it had a little bit more of a action feel.
Yeah, what at the end, the cliffhanger at the end, Luke, I am your father, or it's yeah.
Why is this? I don't know. I asked this, but this fascination with Star Wars, really, isn't it? To the collecting community is huge, isn't it? So, in collecting wise, I mean, what do you think that is? Sorry.
I just think we're all sad, desperate, holding on to nostalgia for better times. You can have a stressful day at work, or there could be some other issues going on in your life, and I just come in here, and my wife says, "What are you doing?" You've been up there for half an hour. What are you doing? I'm just like moving my figures around, looking at them, just in awe of it all, I don't think it's it's a perfect nostalgia hook, I guess, but you could call it a midlife crisis as well. There's nothing wrong in that. Life's going to happen, and in the middle of it, it's not a crisis. It's not a crisis. It's just like you change, don't you? And I've got kids. I've got kids and have been married, and that's all sorted. And it's like, well, what do we do now? I used to go enjoy going to rock concerts and going to raves, but I'm a bit too old for that now. So it's a case of getting my nostalgia fix with the without this community, it wouldn't mean as much, would it? I don't think. With the guys in the chat and stuff.
In regards to Transformers, how did you get started on that? On collecting?
I always thought I had a bit of a sneak peek before the toys came out, before the cartoon came out. We had a Japanese kid in our school, and he would regularly go back to Japan in the summer holidays, and he'd bring all these micro change and Diaclone transforming robots back, and we would go around to play with them, and we didn't. Hasbro hadn't bought the rights to them. They hadn't made the comics. They hadn't made the movies, the cartoons, and it was I remember playing with Optimus Prime, and he wasn't called Optimus Prime. He was just called what was he? He was called Convoy, and he was exactly the same, but he was Japanese, and he was Diaclone. And then I remember of course we didn't have the internet back then, and I remember I think the comic came out a few weeks before the cartoon did, and I was like, oh my god. And then the toys were in the store, and it was like, oh wow, you can get them over here now. So it was a case of and all these are most of my G1 Transformers are lovingly cared for and kept from my childhood. So yeah, it's just I collect the modern Hasbro Transformers as well. I haven't got a full collection of Transformers. I think they go a bit off point after about 87. I like my Transformers to look like I can't remember the actual name of the lorry, but like that's just it's a lorry that was on the road in the late 70s. You've got a Lamborghini Countach. It is a Lamborghini. What have we got here? Oh, we've got a Porsche. We've got a Porsche that looked like that were on the roads, but then they started going day glow colors, and then they were like space cars, and they didn't. So I sort of lost. I was probably getting a bit old for them then anyway. So I sort of lost interest. But I kept them all. And I've met most of my Transformers. I've toy hacked all the labels, so I've taken all the old labels off, which is look, I love it. Just picking them off and washing them and toothbrush and getting all the gunk off, and then just applying the new even better stickers than they were in the 80s. So yeah, God knows how much I've spent on reproduction labels. God knows. But yeah, no, whatever floats your boat, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, you related a little bit of you still had your toys, but you when you moved on, was that, you know, some collectors, they didn't collect, they just moved on to, you know, in life, you know.
No, I think even when I was at university, I would always, I was into maybe, I used to buy lots of, I haven't got them anymore, lots of sports Spawn figures, and the odd, you know, Batman and things like that. Yeah, whatever looked cool. And I think I was sort of getting into my comics then as well. So I was buying lots of graphic novels and stuff. So there was always that geek interest there.
Right.
And I took all my Star Wars figures to university and I put it in a big box. Do you know what I mean? It was like they're coming with me because I knew my mum would never throw them out.
Right.
Because she bought them for me and she knew I appreciated them, and I always looked after them. And you know, my mates were down the garden with the BB guns shooting their action figures. I was like, no, I'm not bringing mine round to your garden. Yeah, same with my Transformers. I gave them to my Chris isn't in the chat, but I gave them to Chris and Andrew, who are sort of my godparents' sons, and you know, they're big collectors in the community as well. And then they gave all my boxes back a couple of years ago. Andrew still had them in his mum's attic, and I got all my Transformers boxes back, and it was like, yes. Same with my Spectrum games, really. Although my mum did throw a box out. I had 2 boxes of Spectrum cassettes. And one just disappeared, and so yeah, I even took my Spectrum to university, Pete. Yeah. No one was playing the Spectrum in 1993. Well, no, they were actually.
So
yeah.
were you a full-on nerdy kind of, you know, doing that? You know?
Oh yeah, but I was cool. I was cool. I was cool. My son would differ, but not agree with that. So.
I wasn't a nerd. I was just a sad person. I went to university when I was older. I was an older student when I went to university.
Yeah.
So I didn't go. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, how they have in America, that you've got middle school or whatever, or high school, and then
junior high, college,
So I mean,
Seniors.
that's complicated to me. That is so complicated to me. But I was a bit of a film nerd, so I wasn't.
Of course.
I would have thought that it went hand in hand with me being a film nerd, watching so much TV and collecting action figures. It was different for me. Did you do film work? You've said that you've done film work and you've done TV, right?
I've got a degree in film and television.
Right.
I was not so much now, but I was 24 years professional TV editor. I've worked on a few films in my time. What have I worked on? Oh, Chicken Run.
Oh, right. I love that movie.
Yeah, no, I used to be a prop assistant prop maker. One of my first jobs when I left uni was I got a job at Ardman in Bristol. You know, Wallace and Gromit. Yeah. I did a lot of prop work on Chicken Run. To be honest, a lot of the Ardman stuff. I didn't work on any of the Wrong Trousers though. Any of the Wallace and Gromit stuff, but a lot of I suppose at the time in the late 90s, it was, you know, Aardman were really hip, and DreamWorks had taken over. Steven Spielberg's company were just about to take over. And we were doing a lot of claymation commercials for the American TV. So that was the Aardman style plasticity. So I was making lots of props for that as well. What else? I worked on a few. What other film did I work on? Oh, Human Traffic, which is like the Welsh version of Train Spotting.
Right. Okay.
Which is I kind of I used to live with the film director at uni, and he was like, "I'm making a film, Tez." I'm like, "Yeah, do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So come on, and it was the 90s, so I was hammered on every day at work. It was great. I was off my rocker. Work? Was it work? Well, it was, I suppose. But yeah. So there you go.
Aardman's great. I loved Aardman. I love the Chicken Run, and
Apparently they're doing a sequel. Apparently, there's Chicken Run 2's coming out.
Okay, is this Mel Gibson doing?
I think he is. Yeah. And I got to meet Mel Gibson. It was weird. It was weird. Yeah, he came into. I mean, a lot of the. It was weird because he was doing a lot of voiceover from the States, and they would have to film his, his mouth to put that onto
his
claymation. Yeah, and I think he was promoting. I don't know, one of his films. It could have been Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh,
I can't remember. Anyway, but he was in the States. He was in the UK doing lots of interviews, and we were still working on Chicken Run and stuff. And at the time, I was making props and stuff. And it's like the boss said, Mel Gibson's coming round today with his entourage to have a little look round. So look busy and look busy. It's very relaxed. It was very relaxed in there. If he speaks to you, if he talks to you, don't talk to him. They said. So I was like, okay. And I thought he won't come into our room, and he did. He came into our room, and we were all sat in our sort of workstations, and he was walking around talking to people. And at the time, I had shaved. I used to have green dreadlocks, and I had shaved my head, but kept 4 massive spiky dreadlocks here. And he came over and started playing with my hair, and I was like, looked at the boss, and it was like he's talking to me, and the boss said, "Don't talk to him." And it was like, talk to him, fucking talk to him. I started talking to Mel Gibson, lovely bloke. He asked me what I was doing, and that day we were just given a task to stop working on what we were working on and just make Aardman eyes. The Aardman eye, yeah. So we were making Aardman eyes, and then he because we need some. They need a lot of those sort of eyes anyway. So I was making those, and they were all sort of spread out on cocktail sticks, drying off. And he said, "Oh, Tez, can you make?" No, he said, "Can you make me some eyes? Can you make me some blue eyes?" So I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then he went off and stuff, and he came back later to collect his because they had to dry, so he came back and he had to pick them up, and so I've made him some Mel Gibson eyes, and I got to sign an autograph to my mum. And he was like, it was nice because he remembered my name. He came back in the door, he popped his head round with his entourage and said, "Tiz. Because he's Australian. Tiz. Are my eyes dry?" And I was like, yeah, cool, look, come over here. And I put them in an envelope and made it, And then he said, I can't remember the character he used to play. He said, "What?
Was that Rooster? He played it as the Rooster."
But he said, my mum loves you. She thinks she's the best thing ever to come out to Australia." I said, "Can you have a? Can you do an autograph?" And he says, "Oh, what's your mum's favourite movie?" And she said she loves you when you were in Sons and Daughters. Do you remember Sons and Daughters? Do you remember Sons and Daughters, the Australian soap opera?
Vaguely.
Yeah. He played a rogue in that, and he signed it in that. I can't remember what the name was, but yeah, he was like, "God, you guys got Sons and Daughters?" He was like, "Yeah." So yeah.
Oh my God, Sons and Daughters.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then a few days later, Paul McCartney came round. He didn't come in. He didn't come in.
Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah.
Shabby's
Betty Davis blew us. Hey, Shabby. Sad
G-Force.
sailors.
G-Force.
G-Man.
Jonathan's in the chat.
Jono.
Gap is also in the chat. Hello, Gap.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue Sasquatch was in the chat.
I saw that Blue Sasquatch. Yeah.
So,
Connor's here.
Connor's here.
Shooting a Welshman on an arrow. Yeah, you can do that. From the walls of Chester, there's Cy as well. Travels with Jason.
Travels with Jason. Brian's action figures reviews here as well. Welcoming Mr. Tears onto the P.G.M Show today. Really early in the morning for me, but hey, that's not really an excuse. I'm up. And so is Tears here, enjoying a good conversation. And also, I really didn't know you were doing Aardman. That was interesting because didn't unfortunately burn down? I heard something in the news. The Aardman.
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned that. Pete. That happened in. I think that happened in sort of early 2000s. And I left Aardman, and it was a kind of to move into TV stuff. And I thought, I need to take something. Something. So I went into the shed, into the props storage. That this is the thing that burnt down, and yeah, I didn't burn it down.
Beginning to wonder.
I didn't burn it down, P. I didn't burn it down. But I did. I picked up some Wallace heads and grommet heads, which I gave to my niece, who was 6 at the time, and then they ended up like. I was like, oh man, you've just destroyed them. But I did manage to get this is from the Wrong Trousers. I didn't paint. I know the guy who painted it. I think his name was Keith. So this was in the scene when Wallace is asleep and he's in the wrong trousers and he's in the museum.
Right.
And he's going to steal the diamond and he's walking on the ceiling upside down. You have the Laughing Cavalier and the Mona Lisa are all done in the style of Aardman, and this was in the background as well. You can imagine how this is like A3 size, because some of those Aardman miniatures were Wallace was this big. He was fairly big. Yeah, they weren't tiny little things like that. So I managed to. I'll just take this. No one's going to notice. And then 2 months later, it burns down. It was national. It hit world news. That did. It was like a big story, wasn't it?
We got it from. We got. It was on our news as well, actually, back in the day. Yeah,
it's mad. So I didn't burn it down. I was in there like that. I was in there with a cigarette, going, "Oh, what can it? Oh, I'll have that, thank you." Yeah, see you, Aardman. Yeah. So.
Tino's here. It is Monday morning for you
as well.
It's only.
It's just scribes on video clips. I don't know what to do because I don't know what to say because I did steal that basically. I could go back to Warman and go, look, well, I worked for you a while back. I know everything burned down. I could sell that for I don't know.
You never know. You never know, Tess. Somebody actually might have who worked there as well gone and snaffled something, you know.
Oh yeah. There was a guy from where I went to university, the animation lecturer. He came in to visit me, and then he took loads of stuff back to the workshop in university. So he's got loads of stuff as well. So
Yeah, I mean, why not? I would probably do the same. It's Aardman's. It's probably, this is a big, huge word in the morning for me to say, indentured into our souls almost, because it was, we had Wallace and Gromit. I love Wallace and Gromit. Was it Peter Sellers, not the other Peter Sellers?
Peter Lord and oh my god, I forgot and Park. Peter Lord, Nick Park.
Summer Wine, voiced over.
Oh yeah, yes, yes. He's apparently he passed away a couple of years ago, didn't he? Peter Solos.
Yes, he was brilliant as Wallace and Gromit. I love that. I love this. You know, I love the dog. I love the dog. The animation was so. I mean, taken years to actually do, but when
because I think when I left in '99, they were Chicken Run was still. I think Chicken Run came out in end of the year '99 as well. But when I left in '99, they were in concept ideas for the Wallace and Gromit movie, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and that came out in 2004.
Oh, wow.
So they were at that stage. They were running animation tests already. It was like my friend Merlin. He was great at animating. He was great at animating a lot of characters on the screen at the same time. And he's. I think it took him 4 months to animate 20 seconds.
Wow.
Of on Chicken Run, there was like all the characters were like, oh, in the background going, oh, pick me, and that, I think that shot lasted 15 seconds, but that took 4 months, and it was like some days he would like just do a third of a second. It was you had to move each character, and there were about there's about 11, 12 characters on the screen. It was insane, yeah. So.
I mean, I did see some of the making of Chicken Run when they had to do the mouth.
Yeah.
Rocky's mouth, and just move it, and then take it off and put another one on.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah.
Yes, it's like that's really time consuming, but it's so good. It's really so good.
Yeah. So a lot of the Nightmare Before Christmas as well. You got Jack Skellington. Because those were all the mouth poses for that weren't individual mouth poses; they were head swaps, and that a lot of that work got filtered out to Aardman. So I used to walk past my mates and go, "I was like, what are you doing?" Because I didn't know about the film. It was like, "Oh, I know we can't talk about that." They was some of them were really early 3D sculpts of. Jack Skellington's head. Yeah, I think there were 40,000 heads made at Aardman.
Yeah.
Or 14,000 heads.
Yeah, it's all the making of it too. That was incredible. I mean, I go back to toys. I had Chicken Run toys. I don't have them anymore. I love those toys.
Yeah, they were great.
They were fantastic. I wish I had them now because that was so good. So I think I collected as many as I could. I don't know where I got them from. I think it was in Nelson, my hometown, which is in the South Island. I was collecting those. Why? Can I ask why did you stop doing going Aardman, and then you went? Did you go further when you did this Welsh train spotting film, or did you?
No, the Welsh train spotting human traffic was sort of like something something that I thought, my mate Justin Kerrigan, who directed the film, it was like we lost contact with each other. And they said, "Oh, come and do a few weeks' work on Human Traffic," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." I didn't get paid. I don't think I even got a credit on it either. I don't think I even got a credit because I just did. I was sometimes an extra in the background, and because it was about the 90s drug scene in Wales, there was a lot of stuff going around. There was a lot of stuff going around, Pete. So, yeah, you know, I think it was of that time sort of thing. So, okay. I think I've spoke about the reason why I left Aardman before. Because when I was, I don't know. 1 second, I have to get props now, Pete.
Right.
Oh, some people know the story already. Get the hell out! I'm not sure in New Zealand if you had. Oh my god! Because this ties in. How the hell is it? Oh, I'll have to get something else. This ties in my love for animation, Spectrum games, and childhood. Oh, I must have it here, Pete. Pete, have you been in my stuff? Oh my god, I can't. Oh no, I got it. Oh yeah, okay, right. I need. There we go. So as kids, did you? Because animation again. Did you get Trapdoor in? Did you get Trapdoor the Cosgrove Hall kids animation? It was plasticine.
No, we didn't.
Oh, you never got that. But there's people in the chat will probably recognise it because this is Burke from Trapdoor, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to move into animation because it was all stop motion animation, you know, full on British, and then they brought out a game, my favourite Spectrum game, the Trapdoor, and then Terry Brain, the creator of Trapdoor, was a guest lecturer at universities in the animation department, and he handpicked 6 people to take to Aardman, and that's how I got my placement at Aardman. And it was great. It was I was like, oh my god, I'm working for this guy who, I loved Trapdoor when I was a kid. It was a big part of my life. I loved the game, all that kind of stuff. I'm working for him, and it became evident after a while, Pete, that he was a raving alcoholic. He was a nice guy, but like God, he did have a temper. And he was kind of like tough love on you a little bit,
right?
And it was like, oh, he was really nice and supportive as a lecturer, but as a boss, he was a bit of a tyrant. And he came into my studio one morning, and there was something wrong. He was angry. Something had happened, and he picked up one of my. I was making this car, a Chevron car, for an American Chevron advert, which was a whale but looked like a car. And I'd spent 2 weeks on it, and it wasn't. Yeah. It was sort of like concept stuff. It wasn't for the actual advert. And he came up, and he picks it up and says, "Tez, you must do better. This is shit." And he dropped it, and he kicked it across the studio.
God.
And I got so upset, I attacked him. I pushed him back. Yeah, because he was nice, but he was nice, but then could be a really horrible tyrant as well. And he used to pick on quite a few of the lads.
Right. Yeah.
And then the lads would go, "Go on, Tez! Go on, Tez!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was crying. Oh my god! I'm basically beating up Yoda. This is my hero. I've got him on the floor, and so that was it. That I had to leave. I had to leave, Pete. I had to leave. I'd beaten him up. He passed away in the early 2000s. So yeah.
Things happen.
Fuck.
I mean, I nearly got. You probably heard this before when my
Go
nearly
on.
our talk on your show of the Hobbit story, where I went into the costume fitting and nearly got fired by the costume designer because I was late on the costume fitting.
Oh,
So,
yeah. It's
yeah.
tricky, man.
So that can happen anywhere.
Yeah,
Any,
it's only because I was passionate. It was like with you,
yeah.
Pete. It's something that you've strived for, and you're there, and then suddenly it isn't going your way, and then the unexpected happens. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it is brilliant when you can get on set or get a job working for either Aardman or Peter Jackson or even James Cameron. I mean,
when you're there,
that
you're there. When you're there, you're there, Pete. You're in it,
yeah,
aren't you? You're in
exactly.
it.
I mean, I
There's
know
nothing better.
friends who had all the luck in the world getting jobs and they've been there for years.
Yeah.
It's who's laughing?
Oh no, Connor said, did you get a good? I think I did get a reference off him. I got a reference off him, a nice reference off him. It was actually, yeah. I think it was. I don't know.
Tiz will not be working anywhere else.
Yeah,
He has had a go at me and punched my lights out.
yeah. But to be honest, I did like 2 years, working in animation, and it was it wasn't because I was freelance. It wasn't guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the end of the night. It was the end of the 90s, and the 90s was a big party decade. And it was there were lots of things going around in creative corners of the studio, if you know what I mean. Lots of late nights and lots of partying, and it was just like I need more security. And maybe TV. There's more security. There's always going but even not now though.
No.
The next generation don't want to watch TV shows. That's why we do YouTube. That's why we do YouTube, Pete. That's why we do YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more of people watching YouTube than kind of watching what we did back in the day, right? TV. And then we had movies to go and see, but now it's become way different, like the streaming wars.
I think it's just become a bit disposable, isn't it? Everything. Yeah. A big blockbuster now is it used to last 6 months in the UK cinema, and now I was going to try and watch Transformers this weekend, but it's not on anymore. it's like literally had a 4 weeks in the cinema, and it's gone.
The same
so I think
Creed 3 was only in our cinemas for what? Nearly 2 months.
Yeah,
and now it's on Prime. So
I know. Yeah, I think what when we were kids, and films took up a long time to physically make. Props, physical special effects, and now with CGI, anything that you can muster in your mind can be put on screen.
Yeah,
better than you imagined in some cases. And the event of non-linear editing, which is digital editing, because when I started editing, it was 3 machine edits. You had a tape, you put it into there, a tape, you put it into there, and it took you like 3 minutes to make a cut. And now with Avid and Final Cut Pro and Premiere, I as a digital editor 20 years ago, I was niche. It was like, I'm at the forefront of this new technology, and now your kids can do it on their phone, Pete. Kids can do it on their phone, and so that was why that's why you've got so many. When we were kids, you maybe had like 5 or 6 TV channels, and now with the birth of non-linear editing, you can make a TV series in 6 weeks rather than a year. So that got flooded, I think it's oversaturated now. Maybe.
I mean, I was editing. I went to film school and I was editing on bricks, on steel bricks. We had put a carton machine, right? And they were called bricks, like a steel brick.
Yeah.
And just put it in an editing machine. And what you do is you roll
Yeah,
it.
you spool along. Yeah.
Spool around. And I loved that. But when I went back to film school in Wellington here, it was all digital and I couldn't make head nor tail of it. I got really sick of it because it's just like all these other tools that I had to get used to, and I couldn't wrap my head on digital stuff. So maybe I'm just more analog than anything else. So
yeah, because it was, it was the whole process was it took you had to think about it as well. You had to you had to write down time code and in out here, and now you've just got it on the screen and it's instant, which is a good thing, I think.
Once you get used to it, once you get used to editing, I've edited on my phone with the
started doing that as well.
So but again, back in film school, I had a hard time editing because everybody was more younger than I am, and I had an old brain. But enough about my horrible time at film school. That'll be another story in my book coming up. Pete's Pitiful Life.
Pete's Pitfalls in Life.
When did you start? When did you start doing reviewing games and Sega games? From your toy reviews, because did you used to do toy reviews before?
Oh, my toy reviews are shit hot, Pete. They're like TV quality. You've not seen them? Oh man, God.
I don't know whether it's actually loud.
You don't know who Barry and Trevor are? If you go to my YouTube, go to my play set reviews. Right. They're great. I'm sorry, I'm blowing my own trumpet for that. They're great.
No, sorry.
But I think it was. I had all this. I had all this time in lockdown, and I'd probably spend a week editing. They were like features, they were scripted, voiceover, special effects, bit of comedy. Because I've spent years writing scripts as well, so it was for TV, so it was just like a format thing. Right. But then when lockdown started to, life went back to normal. I would spend a day down, like half a day downstairs filming scenarios with my Star Wars stuff, and it's I had that time, but life went back to normal, and I went in June 2021 after I hadn't seen my mum for ages, and I went to collect some I went to visit her. And I've picked up some of my boxes up there. I picked up the B-Wing and a few other boxes. The Ewok Village. There were things in my mum's attic which I was like, I've got to bring back to Plymouth. Yeah. And I forgot there was a box of Spectrum games there. And I was like, oh my God, I've got my Spectrum games and my Spectrum. I'm a Spectrum computer. I'll get it out because. I'll have to. Oh, my room's a tip. There we go. The good old. Oh, there it is. There we go. It wasn't the rubber keyed one. It was the 128K spec. This powerful, man. British technology. Yeah, British technology.
I think we had that in New Zealand.
Yeah. You had. Yeah, I know a lot of you Spectrum. Spectrum creators who live in New Zealand as well. It was big, and it was British. It was. We had the console wars, Spectrum versus Commodore 64. We had all that over here.
Yeah.
But I just thought, oh wow, I've got all these, and I did an attic video, an attic attack video where it was like, part one was like, here I found my Ewok Village, I found my B-Wing box, and I was like, on the end of the video, it was like, oh, there's something in the cupboard over there which I think you might like. And it was like, oh my god, well, look what I found. And then I ended the video there. And then part 2 was me. The video was me opening all the games. And then I put them all back, and I linked up the computer, and it took me ages to get it working, and it worked. And I was like, I need to start playing games on my laptop, and I've always emulated Spectrum games on my laptop, like digitally. So I thought, well, I'll do a live. One August afternoon, I thought I'll sit here and I'll play some Spectrum games, and then people started watching it, and then people started unsubscribing. But then I got other subscribers as well. But it's for me at the moment, it's a time issue. I mean, I want to get back to all this one day. I want to get back to doing some physical toy reviews, but I spend maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. Just I play 7 Spectrum games, play them for 10 minutes each. There's I talk over them. I talk about the nostalgia.
I've been on your chats. I mean, on your chats once.
I talk about my memories. It's the same nostalgia as Star Wars. I mean, I was collecting Star Wars stuff when I had a Spectrum, so it's all connected. I do the odd live stream, Spectrum live stream, and I play the odd. I put out 7 videos a week, daily. I put a Spectrum video. Whether it's a good Spectrum video, it's it's another thing.
Yeah, well, so. I mean, whether it's not a good Spectrum video, I mean, you've got a little bit of a factual information there, which is quite good. And that slice that you're playing. From your
even if it's a bad game, I'm not kind of going to swear all over it and say it's crap, but sometimes I do. Yeah. But like, I'm always kind of positive in trying to do the things.
And you give it a fair go,
Yeah.
Which I like.
It keeps the channel alive. Yeah, but it's nice because I've had all my the Star Wars, the community, the Transformers community, and then I've realised that in the retro game community that there's people I sort of knew anyway, but then there's people in the retro game community who are Star Wars collectors.
Right.
And then I've sort of made them go into the attic and get their collections out, and vice versa. So there's a lot of,
when I was growing up as well, there was a lot of Star Wars games in Spectrum.
Oh god, yeah.
And also it gravitated to what I enjoyed as a kid and teenager, going to the video parlors and playing Star Wars games. That had that same style of the old-fashioned Sega games, I mean, I was a 20-cent fiend, putting in the slots of slots of machines.
What was your favorite arcade? What was your favorite arcade game?
I kind of had 2. I had the Star Wars sit-down game.
Sit-down cabinet, yeah.
And I had I've forgotten the name again. It was like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of game.
Gauntlet.
Very high tech, good cartoon animation.
Golden Axe.
No. Somebody will tell me. But it was a hard game to actually get through because you die quite easily.
Games are too easy now. I think I've played maybe 2 or 3 modern games this year, and within a sitting of maybe like 20 hours, I've finished them. There's some Spectrum games and Sega games which Dragon's Lair, it's Space Ace.
It's a good cartoon as well.
Yeah, he changes into a skeleton and
that's brilliant.
But yeah, I think I'm getting a little bit bored of modern games. They look fantastic and the cinematics are great, but it's like, how's that gameplay going? Do you know what I mean? It's
fair enough. But I mean, I did actually. I mean, I loved, still love Uncharted games.
Oh, the PlayStation,
PlayStation. I
quite
love
unique, aren't
I
they?
love the storyline and the gameplay for The Last of
Yeah.
Us, Last of Us 2. I think it's just so.
They're well thought out games, those.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you're right.
I think when you've got,
Jesus.
you know, like one guy made this. He's called Don Priestley. He was a maths teacher, and one guy made that, and it's beautiful game. And he could do what he wanted. He can make his own rules up. But when you've got like 17,000 people working on a game globally, where's the focus? Where's the focus?
Yeah, I mean,
On the game, you know, where's that individuality gone?
There has been complaints about the Last of Us 2 people having some difficulty in not sleeping, being overworked.
Yeah. Same with CGI animators as well.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
So there is some doubts and some questions being
Poppy Wolf,
sung by producers, saying that been overworked because we have to get this out in time, you know, or
and then you're just as good as your last job. It's kind of that kind of well, if you didn't pull your weight on this one, maybe we don't want you for the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know, I mean that could be detrimental to somebody's health. You know, overwork. So
and it's I always find it's you know, when a big exec from a company puts in his boot into someone who's quite small and maybe they're doing smoke particle animation on the game. That's all they do, and they're good at that. And maybe they put the boot in and say they don't want to work in. I think creative people as well take a hit harder than maybe someone who's working on production out in the field, because it's you're your own sort of worst critic, and I found a lot of this with other editors as well. It's you get a bit of criticism because it's like, yeah, you've made a program, well done, but then it's like they don't say well done. They might buy you a bottle of wine and take you out on a meal at the end on a wrap party, but like, God, do they let you know if you've made a mistake? They'll let everybody know, and it's not. I just think it's a creative thing, which an exec like to do.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can always tell whether a director's going to sit there with the editor and bark orders at them, or sit there and say that and do it nicely and correctly, because I think Jamie Selkirk and Peter Jackson had a great relationship with.
Yeah.
Because
Peter
would just have a beer on the couch because you see it in the making.
Just show me what you did, guys.
No. Same with George Lucas when he was doing Star Wars. I think he was a little bit more gracious.
Yeah.
But he knew what he wanted. So he would.
Well, if it wasn't for George Lucas basically built his team built the core Avid system, which is Avid is the TV standard of digital editing. Not so much now, but he pushed that technology, because that's why I always, if I had a young guy come in my edit suite and he was like doing work experience, and it was like, have you seen Star Wars? He says, no, I don't like Star Wars. Well, you need to watch Star Wars as a process. No, I don't want to watch it. He says, well, no, George Lucas made this fucking machine. oh yeah, I better go and watch the film then. Yeah, you better go and watch that film. Get out my edit suite. Get out my edit suite. Why do I need to know about this?
I've been in Peter Jackson's edit suite in Park Road Post, and it is huge. It's freaking huge. I mean, the desk is kind of yay long, and the screen is there, but it's beautiful. It's decked out. So
yeah, I think I've seen it in the extras, in the DVD extras. And,
and you stand there. I stood there drooling.
Yeah. So I think I watched I watched a clip. I watched a video on YouTube the other week. it was when they were doing early December in 2000. I mean, what the Lord of the Rings came out early. Was it Christmas? 2000.
Yeah, it was in December's, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
December's.
And I watched. I love watching this clip. It's they got Elijah Wood. These were pickups. So they'd done the rap, but they were still in. Some of the cast was still in New Zealand.
Yeah,
and it was Elijah Wood and Sean Austin, and it was the bit where he has to close the book, and he's just written his memoirs, and he goes, "Oh, there's still room for some more, Sam." And then you've got Peter. This is going to be cry. You've got Peter Jackson in the background going, because he knew this was the last scene. Do it, guys, that was beautiful, but do it again. Guys, just do that again. Do it again, because they didn't want to stop. They knew it was the last scene, and they didn't want to stop this beautiful thing that was happening. And the cameras go off, and then Elijah Wood comes up, and Peter Jackson is in tears.
Yeah,
and Elijah's going, "Oh, I was so happy. I'm so grateful." And it was just to kick him off the new series, man. Oh.
that was the best moment, I think, because for 11 years these guys lived in New Zealand, lived and breathed in New Zealand, from back to back to back, doing 3 films,
tattoos and everything. Yeah,
exactly, and peeing and pissing in a fountain in Wellington, New Zealand. That took the cake, but we ignored that.
It must have been so like
it was just phenomenal. It put us on the map for filmmakers.
Yeah, it did.
So
I mean, I was a big Bad Taste fan. Heavenly Creatures. What's the one? What's the one with our Linus with Brain Dead? Yeah. Meet the Feebles. I was well into all that before Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson was like a cool. He was the cool director from New Zealand, and he was just like, "Where's this guy come from? He's doing Lord of the Rings. He's making King Kong."
Funny because he did the same thing that basically Steven Spielberg did. He got his own camera because his parents bought Peter Jackson's own camera, and Peter just actually went around the neighborhood filming stuff.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Steven Spielberg did.
Yeah. I when I was little, I got my own camera, but I wasn't as successful as those 2 people you mentioned.
Yes.
There you go. Look at that. So it's a UMIG 8mm. There's no batteries in. But you put your film in there.
Oh yeah.
12 minutes of 12 minutes of 8 Super 8 film, no sound. And the reason this one's great because there's a little button here. See the 2 little buttons there?
Yeah. The
bottom one there is for a cable release, Pete. Do you know what a cable release does? Frame by frame.
Oh,
and I was when I was a young teenager, I was animating my own films on this.
Oh, it's awesome.
But it's great. 1977. This thing is. It's beautiful.
Wow. Beautiful. You see, I should have gone down that route. But I didn't.
You're the acting route.
I know, and the alcoholic route.
Alcoholic, goes hand in hand, man. Yeah. I did drama. Hey, it's Phil. I did drama. I wanted to be an actor as well, and then I thought, I'm not very good.
Well, I wasn't.
I could only. Yeah, we can act, but we can act up most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I act up. I mean, back in 1999, people and Tez, that I went to acting school, you could say, and I still was a raving alcoholic, and I treated everybody like crap. I was pretty good as an actor, but I got a certificate when everybody got a diploma, so I got busted down to an extra. So I don't have any lines. So that's what you get for telling the truth.
Yeah, people don't like the truth. You get cancelled and stuff.
I mean, next time I'm going to have to lie and say yes, I am an actor. So you get more lines.
I'm a trained actor reduced to the states of a bum. Sorry, I'm quoting Withnail. Have you ever seen Withnail and I? Then, because that's a great out of work acting movie.
No, what's that? What was that?
Withnail and I. Richard E. Grant. It's like I go on about it all the time. It's one of my favorite movies. Two out of work actors in the 60s were friends. They go on holiday by mistake. And one of them gets the dream job and the other one doesn't. And it's the kind of like, oh, you're going there and I'm going to the gutter. But the guy who doesn't get the job is the better actor. Yeah, Withnail and I, it's a classic. It's a classic.
I'll have to find that. I like Richard E. Grant.
It's the film that put him on the map.
Right. Oh, okay.
He's drunk in every scene, and he comes out with it's one of the most quotable films ever. He's drunk in every scene, but he was allergic to alcohol, so that was the level of his acting. It was like, you're the best guy playing a drunk. Yeah, he's allergic to alcohol.
But
I'll keep on collecting here.
Yeah, Matt, keep on collecting. I do. Yeah. Well, thing is that I love acting, but I love actually meeting people. I spent hours upon hours on set for what was it? Mortal Engines.
Oh right, yeah, that was another Peter Jackson production sort of thing.
Yeah, production, and I spent all day and some of the evening just entertaining people and getting to know people. Just in the I love.
That'd be awesome, man.
I made so many people laugh and probably cringe.
What's the next big film to go out of New Zealand? Do you know what's the pipeline?
I hear from my talent agent that there's a project in Wellington starting up, so there might be some acting for me. I've done it for a long time, Tez. A fair while, about 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years now. So I'm quite looking forward to it. I don't know what it is. She didn't tell me what it is.
Yeah.
They were looking for stuntmen or stunt people.
Stuntmen. I could fall over.
Yeah. I fall over.
I could crash a car.
Yeah. I fall over every time. I'm getting old. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, I mean, you guys, well, you could say, could you say, I'll put this in the question, could you say ZSR, the three lads, right? I mean, you have fun with that, right? So could you say that is a form of entertainment, you know?
I'd say so. I think. Well, I think Shabby is the king of that department. His entertainment is you know, Shabby's like a Saturday night, you know, quiz show, entertainment sort of variety show. Matt's very dry and comes out with some great one-liners.
I think you all are. I think you have got your traits, but which just really makes it funny. I mean, really. Yeah,
I think it's lightning. It's lightning in a bottle. It's kind of Well, we don't get big-headed about it or anything like that. We don't really plan anything. We went on a Friday. I don't think we spoke properly all week, and it was just like I went to Matt. It's like, who's on this week as a guest? I don't know. Who are we having on? Oh yeah, we just rolled with it, you know.
I mean, it is brilliant. It's been going for bloody ages, and it's just three guys having the time of their lives and talking about talking about toys.
I mean,
or anything else.
we kind of cut our teeth on the Pally Boys, which was it didn't go with the way we wanted it to go, but that was still fun. It was, you know, it was just, you know, I
that time
before lockdown, I'd never even thought about doing a live stream.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, was it that time that you went from Pally Boys that you had to change, or you just had to actually veer off because it wasn't going that way?
I think there was a time. I think there was a time when that all finished. I think there was a time when it was just like, hold on a minute, we're not going to jack this in. We've got all the guys in the chat, as you can see down here, who have been there since the beginning, and it was. And it was a little bit of a falling out and a misunderstanding, and it was just like, you know, and it was kind of like Matt didn't have a good laptop, or Shabby didn't have a good PC, so it was the kind of like, well, I've got a nice laptop, and I'm sure I can host an episode, and it just went on from there, really.
Because it's who's saying it's Cilla Black?
Cilla Black, surprise! What's your name? Where did it come from? Sorry.
You have some really awesome guests come on the show.
Yeah, some weeks I don't know who's coming on.
including myself.
Yeah, you've been on there, Pete. That you've been on there. You're very entertaining. Very entertaining, man.
Are you amazed how it's been going on for 100 and now?
Not 110 next week, isn't it? I think 110. Yeah. It's just like, you know, where else can you talk about toys and movies on a Friday night? It's just like going to the pub with your mates a little bit. You know, there's no sort of pressure to be flavor of the week kind of thing. Right. You know, we all take the mickey. It's not. It's just nice. There's no sort of. I don't think it's fake. We don't fake ourselves or anything like that. We are what we are. Yeah.
Do you have the same mentality of you don't worry about subscribers much on your channel?
Not really. I think you kind of when I first started YouTube, I was like, oh, analytics. Oh, I've put a video out. Oh, analytics. But it just doesn't bother me now, really. It's yeah. I mean, I've hit 1,000, but I've got no interest in monetization because you can't. There's lots of holes to jump through, and there's lots of perks as well. But you know, I've got 67 copyright claims on my on my videos, man.
Same here.
I don't care. If you put a bit of music on, it's just like, oh wow, I can't claim that 18p.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna take them down. I
was worried about that too. Copyright claim. Oh, they're gonna get me. I don't really.
No, not, you know. I've had one video taken down. Like shit. That was when the first episode of Mandalorian went. I just like, oh cool, I'll do a little Mandalorian little trailer, and it's like that was like an hour after it. It was up after about 2 hours after it dropped, and it was like, Disney have taken your channel down. Disney are going to take your channel down. And I was like, yeah, delete that. Yeah, it's only a stupid little video. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thanks, Disney.
Thanks, Disney. Yeah. Just advertising your stuff for you.
It's. I mean, I think I don't really worry about subscribers. I do look at them, but I'm not worried. I'm not fussed about views. As much as
I look at Shabby's more than mine because he needs to hit 1,000. Come on, Shabby. Yeah. So why isn't he at 1,000?
He
had a bit of stick in one of his in the comments of one of his videos the other day, and it was just like, oh yeah, I like your channel, but like you're just doing it to get toys sent to you. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. Shabby doesn't make videos. He doesn't ask for anything. And I put a comment. I said, Shabby is the toy community.
Yeah.
So there you go. Shabby,
I mean,
Shabby is the toy community. I'm sorry.
He included me.
Yeah.
He includes everybody. He includes, there's no discrimination.
I don't like all that. So, there's a lot of YouTube drama which I've kind of foolishly got involved in, but like but on the other hand, I've made some good friends through it for doing that as well, and I've lost some friends as well. So, but you just learn to choose to steer away from that stuff. But when someone's having a bit of a dig at your mate, it's like,
yeah.
Who are you? Where are you? Where's your comments on the other channel? Those videos then. Yeah.
Where's your channel?
That is it. Sometimes I think like that. It's like, hey, the video is like this. It's like, well, you do it then.
Yeah.
You do it. I don't have to do this. I'm just going to go on to the next video. I'm sorry.
There has been situations before with Usual Mike and Shardamus Prime getting the same question from other people saying that, oh, you're just doing this because people send you products or gifts.
Don't.
So it's not. They're not shilling.
No,
it's people actually liking the content and liking, right? So the gifting. That's gifting.
It's gifting, yeah. And people like really go out of the way to send. I mean, I've never sent anything to Mike because it's far too expensive.
Yeah,
I make him a little Christmas card every year on Twitter. But like, do you know what I mean? But it's like people will go out of the way to send stuff, and that's fine. That's because they love the channel. They love what they're putting out. I've got no problem in that at all. It's people just. I mean. Shabby's got a really, really busy business. He's got 4 kids. He's got, he's got a wife and kids to feed. It's like it's not going out of his way to like, oh, I'd really like this figure. If someone can send me that.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some YouTube channels saying, "Can you get me that?" Right.
Well, I'm on live stream, Josh.
I know you take a break and come.
Hold on, I've got Josh's. What Josh wants on? Let me mute. Josh has got. My son has got an issue.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, well, it's like his son has got an issue. So hey everybody in the chat, how's it going? Please like. I haven't said that before at all in this, but please, if you want, like and subscribe to P.G.M Show. Like and subscribe to the Tessa's show as well, the Roland reviews. And
give us a
so and give Shabby a look at too, and give him
more your toys.
Yeah. I'd like to say good day to BOE. I haven't before.
Hi.
Good to see you in the chat.
There's some great people in the chat.
But I mean, I love your shows. I mean, I love ZSR because you did. You are very kind and generous with your time, right? And it's really funny. I love this humor. I kind of like the community, really, to be quite honest with you guys.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because
best friends ever.
You don't get that with some other YouTube channels who are inviting, right?
Yeah.
Some
they might invite you on, but then it'd be like, oh, thanks, I won't speak to you again. Yeah, that's fine too. But when I joined YouTube, I didn't expect. I did my first video was the Death Star, Palatoy Death Star playset. I just thought, okay, I'll make this video, then make another one. I'll make that video, then make another one. I didn't expect to meet Shabby and Matt and Jonathan Redmond and G. I didn't expect to meet all these awesome people. I just didn't. That didn't click in my head of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna be fucking famous. It's like, no, I don't care about that anymore. It's all the people, and these people keep going, and we push each other's content and stuff. And yeah.
I had the same thing. I wanted to be rich and famous on YouTube. I had the idea of being rich and famous on YouTube because I was listening to some doofus brains who got rich and famous on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
We are. You are rich. You are rich because you have good friends. There you go. That's the community.
Exactly.
That's the community equity, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, all over the world for me and everyone else, right?
Yeah. So, I'd watched Usual Mike and stuff, and but before I started, and it was I wouldn't watch all his videos, but I was aware of him, and like Tim from Boss Bounty as well, and Michael French, he's a bit controversial, and then suddenly like we're taking the piss out. Well, he's on him, and then we're taking the piss out of each other. There's no airs and graces. It's just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be big-headed, but I think this community, this what we've got, this toy community is. I don't want to say we're better than any others, but like it feels like it. Do you know what I mean? We're the cool kids. We're the cool kids. We're the fucking cool kids. I don't know. You got Salacious Rum. Yeah. What a nutter. Yeah. Little annoying little bloke asking us about YouTube, and now he's got thousands of viewers. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, Pete.
I mean, I'm doing a show with Salacious.
Yeah, Salacious. I know. They're really funny. I watched it last week. It was hilarious, man.
I love it because it's an escape from me, from my psyche, right? So I like performing, as you know, and just talking a lot of crap. So it's even if Shelby doesn't get it,
Shelby don't get it. Yeah, no, I love all this. I love And then it'd be ace to meet up with you one day, Pete. It was just, with COVID and lockdown, it was just we sort of got to know each other really well, and then it was just like suddenly when everything opens up, it's like, oh, I can go and see Luke at Reynolds Reviews and because he's Cy, and hopefully next year I'm going to live in Shabby's shed at the bottom of his garden. Matt's coming over next. Matt's coming over next week. He's got
awesome.
I saw his tank.
Yeah,
tank. Yeah,
that was
the head of Brad Pitt as well.
Yes, man, Matt, you're tall.
He is.
So
he's 6 foot. I think he's 6'2". He's tall.
God.
He's bigger than a tank. He literally is bigger than a tank.
Yes, he was. Some of them.
Wee little tank next to him.
Slightly, or doing the dry thing. But yeah, it's from. Do you think you'll go full circle with actually doing toy reviews, and then you got game reviews and back into toy reviews?
I think. Well, on my bio, on my YouTube blurb, it says I'm on a mission to review everything I had as a child and to review it. I hope it takes me years. So there you go. And I've probably only done 10% of what I've got here. So yeah.
Wow.
The spectrum stuff is just I enjoy it, and I enjoy that community as well. It crosses over to the toy community, but it's just easier for me at the moment. It's easier for me to do that. Maybe I need to sort of reevaluate how I do my Star Wars physical reviews. Maybe simplify them. just so, because I'm always sort of like, I need to do this. I need to review every single Star Wars figure. I need to finish reviewing every single Star Wars ship. I need to review. There's so much that's in my head, and it's just like overpowering. I'll go, oh, I'll just play 7 Spectrum games, and there we go for the week. There's me 7 videos.
But you did a wonderful thing for Palitoy, though. Palitoy.
Lee stuff, yeah. Palitoy, yeah.
That was a great.
Yeah, that was in the style. A lot of people like that video because that was. I mean, I've done two Palitoy videos, but that second one was very much in the style of my original playset reviews. Yeah,
right.
have a look at my playset reviews, Pete.
Right.
They're all. I try to make short video. Most of my videos are under 10 minutes.
Right.
I just don't want to take people's time. You see, but yeah.
I think
some have. I was watching some back the other day, and it was just like some have seemed a little bit dated because I mentioned COVID and lockdown in, and that just seems a different world now, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
people still wearing masks in the street. What are you doing?
Yeah. Stu from Universal Toys Collector started when COVID hit, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I started this channel when COVID. I think COVID was almost nearly finished when I started.
Yeah, what are you doing, Pete? You should have been in there with the boys. The mixing pot of COVID videos. Come on.
I had to do this. The P.G.M Show it's not a rebrand, but it's a whole new show because I had a show before with a friend of mine, Michael, right? Who was a young
that's
guy.
right. I remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of didn't work out because nobody could actually watch it or view it because it was stuck in the middle of machine cars and car videos and stuff like that. And
right.
So I'm going. No one's gonna. We got 22 subscribers.
That's hard, man. It's hard.
It was going down and step up.
It's just tough. It's tough. It's just to keep going sometimes. Why am I doing this?
I went on by myself, Tiz, and here I am, and still going. I love it.
Power to you, man. Yeah.
So I love
I like smaller YouTubers anyway. Yeah, I watch everybody watches the big sensational ones, but I like get the same encouragement I used to get from people. It was a strange time that sort of. It's been the last 3 years have been a very strange time in history.
Yeah. Wait, people don't wear masks anymore? Gotta get out of yeah.
No. Well, he feels that he's in Japan, isn't he? So everybody wears a mask. No one wears.
Everybody wears a mask in Japan.
Everybody wears a mask in Japan. Masks, big in Japan. Tonight, big in Japan.
It's a moot point. So,
yeah.
Anyway, if anybody's got a question for Tez and all, you can chime in. This is your. I'll put it open to you.
Yeah, ask me a question.
Ask me a question. Sometimes it works, Tez, and sometimes it doesn't.
No. Probably Jonathan Redmond would ask me why I'm not down the docks.
What's that?
That's what I'm Immuno. All right, Chief Officer was a mask. I mean, you do. You got to. I'm immunocompromised.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it was it was a different kettle of fish in New Zealand how they dealt with lockdown, wasn't it? It was just like boom. Yeah, hardly any casualties. Hardly any. Yeah.
I think our top was, if I can remember, our top was 100 or over 100 people died.
Yeah, well, we were getting that every hour.
Yeah, so.
You did it in a good way.
Ardern did really well. She just hit the nail on the head and just went, no, we're closing down everything. I was still working, by the way, Tez, through that. I was still with COVID. I was still wiping down surfaces in a bank in ANZ. So a lot of people from that bank offices where I was in, they left, right? They left and worked from home. So the majority of the people in those offices in ANZ building, there were about 3/4 full everywhere. So it was quite scary. Quite scary.
Yeah, it was scary for me.
Yeah,
it was because my major gigs in TV at the time were hotel inspector with Alex Polizzi,
right,
and that hotel shut down, and then my two sort of gigs that each year was hotel inspector, Ibiza Weekender, which is basically like a Love Island type comedy show, and Ibiza. You couldn't travel, and it was like shit. Everything's been cancelled. So I ended up sitting on my fingers for ages, and because I was freelance, they wouldn't give me anything. I was like, I've got to go and get a job, and it was like, I'll go and be a care. I'll go and be in care. I worked in one-to-one care in people's houses. So yeah. Oh, Pete, someone's got a question. Pete.
What was that? Pete, what's the bank you were working in?
Gringotts. What is the? I don't know. What is the question? What is the capital? What is the capital city of Bulgaria? What is the capital of Bulgaria? Come on. What's the capital? You can ask Google, can't you?
What?
I don't. What is the capital of Bulgaria? What is the capital of Bulgaria?
I don't.
I just, Sofia. So I've never heard of it.
And no, it wasn't Gringotts. Oh, there we go.
Gringotts. Says the most underrated transformer. The most underrated oh, that's difficult. The most underrated transformer. I'm going to be controversial there, Phil. I'm going to be controversial. Yeah, Phil, Wheelie. Everybody. This is like the word Wheelie. Everybody hates him. He's like the Jar Jar Binks of Transformers. And I'll tell you why he's underrated. Because one, he's lovely and orange. He's like a lollipop, and he's not a resculpt either. Because all the other Transformers will resculpt a Bumblebee. He was a brand new Transformer, and there you go. Yeah, underrated. Yeah, just give a bit of wheelie love. There you go. I hope that answers your question, Phil.
It's probably because it's orange. It's probably right.
Orange, yeah. People don't like orange. Orange is a funny color. Yeah, oranges aren't the only fruit. But yeah, when you transform him into robot mode, his little sticker there, he's got a little flip up head. Look, like that's really cute. His little sticker there. Look, it's perfectly placed, so he looks like a 70s porn star. Bow chicka wow. Look, you can rub this. Can you see that? Can you guess where it is? You rub that heat stickers. There you go.
It's probably Debbie Dallas's partner or something like that.
Claire's laughing. Oh, all right, Claire's here.
Hey, Claire. How are you, Claire?
Claire.
Yeah. Claire P. Sorry. Hello. I'll say hello to Claire. Jonathan, what's Jonathan? Hate is far too light a word to describe our
feelings are weird. Yeah, everybody hates him. Yeah.
Why does everybody hate me? Oh God,
he's just annoying. He speaks in. He's in the Transformer animated cartoon, the movie, and he speaks in rhyme, and he is a little bit annoying.
Doesn't Al Blackadder have that? The young guy who played Pitt. He has a poem. That says, "Why does everybody hate me?"
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Blackadder goes, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah, it's like it's like having that Jar Jar Binks label on your head. Yeah.
What's that? Claire,
he is that presenter.
Don't know.
Yeah. Cliff Jumper. Yeah, he's a good one. Cliff Jumper. What's your favorite Transformer, Pete? What's your favorite?
Mine would have to be Bumblebee, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
Love Bumblebee.
Yeah, the Bumblebee. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, because I like the movie as well.
Movie's good. It's probably the best one.
Because it's his. He didn't have a voice. He had a
The radio sort of thing going
radio.
on. Yeah,
It's brilliant because
yeah,
it just right through all these John Wayne kind of musical senses and
yeah. You could pick up frequencies to make a sentence, wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I think I think plus he transformed into two cars really in those films.
Oh, a V Dub and
a Mustang.
Camaro.
Mustang.
Yeah.
So I don't mind Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Courageous character. Grimlock, Skywalk, and Grapple. There we go.
What's it?
All hail Megatron. All hail Megatron.
What's Jonathan Redmond's coming?
Hot Rod gets. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So they hate Wheelie Mod. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, Hot Rod got Optimus killed. Where is he? Here he is. I got Hot Rod. There he is. You got the touch. You got the power. Damn. Yeah.
What do you think is the fascination with the cartoon movie? Then,
I think it was just well done. I think it was. I mean, I 86 when I saw it. I was like 12, I think. So I was sort of high school, sort of coming to. I was still collecting, but I was still coming. I was getting a little bit embarrassed about collecting transforming robots because I wanted to snug a girl and she might give me a bra. Yeah, so it was. I went to see the cinema, and I think it was. We were so used to having like Megatron blast Bumblebee in the chest in the cartoon, and then he would just get up. Or like the Constructicons at the end of an episode would fall into the lava and go, "Oh, they're all dead." But the next episode they'd be back. Right. But then in the movie it was so it was a sort of coming of age sort of thing. Hasbro wanted to get rid of all these Chinese inspired characters that we've all grown up and lived on. And replace them with the new guys from America, these guys are great. But it was the fact that there's a scene in the movie where the Decepticons board the Ark, and that they instantly, I think, Megatron transforms into the gun, and Starscream just shoots Prowl, and there's all this. His eyes go blue. And smoke comes out of his mouth, and then they shoot Ratchet and Ironhide, and they shoot Brawn, and it's like, shit, they're dead, they're dead. And then you got the scene of Ironhide reaching up to Megatron, going, "Well, stop!" and he just shoots him in the face, and he's obliterated. And then you see Wheeljack and other Transformers just in pieces on the floor, and it's like. Because I was a bit older, but there were 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids in tears when Optimus Prime he dies.
Right.
And this guy takes over, which is fair enough. But they bring him back in Series 3.
Thing is that I never got into the Transformers movie. I wasn't, wasn't in my wheelhouse. I mean, I was watching Scooby-Doo. Mysteries.
Raggy.
Smurfs.
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 I used to collect Smurfs at picking up the garage.
Did you have them at the garage as well?
Yeah, they used to get coupons, and you could after 2 trips to the garage, they give you a Smurf away. But okay. I remember you could get the Smurf house, the little toadstool, and that goes for a lot on eBay now, doesn't it? The Smurf thing.
They had we didn't get coupons, but went to the BP station, walked there as a kid, and bought 5 Smurfs because they had like a wave. A little
Yeah,
wave
yeah.
just-
Oh, yeah. You could buy them, but like you could get free ones when your mum filled up with petrol with even this sticker thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
early days.
the smell
Yeah.
of them. Great.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. The clammy sort of rubber. Yeah. Ooh.
um,
Yeah.
all right.
That's William Dafoe's cup. Yeah.
What's that?
Let's catch up with the chat. Sideswipe is my favourite. All hail Megatron. Yeah, William Dafoe would be a good cup. He's got the jawline and everything. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Cliff jumper.
Just having a look to see if was it lava?
Lava is no match for Devastator. Yeah. Me, Devastator. Yeah.
So, Tiz, what have you got on your show coming up? So,
Oh, what no, is it the SR? I don't know. We've not it's on is it on Shabby's next week? Yeah, it's on Shabby's next week.
right.
So I'm sure it'll be on Friday, and Matt's down Matt's down in Devon.
Oh, okay.
Matt could be sat next to me next Friday. I don't know. We've got there's a few. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go for a few beers and hit a few of the toy stores and stuff. So, channel wise, I've got about 20 videos sat there on YouTube needed to be put into public. So I've got I'm all right, Jack. I'm all right. So I've just seen there's any interesting games which I've played, which might that's interesting. Gauntlet 2. Gauntlet, that's a good one. No, not really. Boogie Boy, Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah,
I've done some Indiana Jones. Yeah, I've played a few Indiana Jones movies. Also, I've done some tank games.
there you go. Here it is.
Yeah, there we go.
On ZSR.
We've had the conversation. I can't remember. Did we have Oh, I know. Yeah, we'll keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Please. Yeah. So,
we've got George Lucas and Peter Jackson.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Oh,
yeah, it would be great. Yeah. Oh,
I'll be jumping at the bit, going, "Get me on! Get me on!"
Yeah. Oh, imagine that. Yeah. Rob's there as well. There, Rob.
Hopefully, can make ZSR Friday. Well,
right, yeah, Rob. Yeah, Rob's always it's the different. Yeah, it's the time zones, isn't it? So
yeah.
Stuff.
I mean, we're in the future, so we over here we catch it not Australia, New Zealand on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
So, I think Matt and Mike usually might wake up because they're again still coming through to.
Mike makes it on, and you do, and the keep on collecting guys. They it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
It's hard, but the thing is that I am going to finish up there with Tiz today, and I want to kind of thank Tiz. Also, I want to thank everybody in the chat for jumping on. It has been such a great show. It's always a pleasure talking to one of the ZSR boys, and I'm going to put on my radio announcing voice. And so,
Yes.
Hang on, I'm just getting my canned whatever.
Canned laughter.
Hang on.
Pete, release your can of love. Spray us with your can of love.
Spread my semen around. No, don't.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to check out Tez, go and check out on his channel. I think everybody knows who you are and what you do. But anyway, share the love. Go and see what he's got on his channel. Check out Tez on ZSR, of course. He's always there with the other two lads.
Get Shabby to 1,000.
Huh?
So get Shabby to 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you very much, Tez.
That's all right. No, always a pleasure to
go away. I'll check you out down in the green room. And anyway. So please, everybody. Oops, I've got that on silent. There we go. We'll turn this up.
Technology.
Technical
Thanks to the
difficulty.
guys in the chat.
I'll check you out. What are we doing?
Oh, echo. I've got echo from Future Monday.
Stereo. And there we go. Got you there. Thank you very much. Thank you much. I'll see you soon in the green room.
See you later, guys. Thanks.
Anyway, that's the show, everybody. Thank you very much kindly. Thank you for coming and chatting with me. Chevy, thank you very much. Gilster and everyone. All lovely people in the chat. That has been the show, everybody. Fantastic. TJC, g'day, Jerry. How are you? Just actually wrap it up. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you very much, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Claire. Thank you very much to Blue Sasquatch coming in, Treasures for Trigger, Phil, and I just hopefully you enjoyed the show today with Tez and I. I checked me out on the P.G.M Show live again, and there's another 2 pommies with me and Salacious Rum, of course, in the weekdays, and we've got a big show lined up with, I think, with the Shabby and Sai brothers on the posters, so check that out on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so I will say goodbye and take care out there, everybody in YouTube land. If I can just get this to move. Anyway, thank you very much. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and take care. Stay safe.